You want to wash off the SeaMoss in cold water. And you want to put it in the strain so it doesn't, you don't want to wash it in a bowl because you don't want to soak up any of this tap water in your SeaMoss, okay? So you want to rinse it off in the cold water in a strain, all right? And the reason why you're doing this because, you know, again, this comes from the sea and you don't want any debris or any leftover, a little bit of salt that might be on there, okay? This SeaMoss here doesn't have a lot of salt at all on it because it is naturally grown wild craft from the ocean. It's not pool grown when you see all this salt and this thick SeaMoss. Not saying that it's fake, but I'm just saying that it's not naturally grown. They grow that in a pool with a whole bunch of other fake SeaMoss per se. All right, so let's rinse it off really good. So you have to rinse and wash it. You got to pick at it as well because sometimes you'll find like little rocks that the SeaMoss is still attached to. So you want to make sure that you wash it really good. In a strainer, of course. Okay? All right. And after you wash it really good, then we're going to pour bottled water on top of it to let it sit overnight and soak. Okay? Do not use tap water. Use bottled water. Okay? To make it soak overnight. I like to throw crystals in mine. Some nice rose crystals or some quartz to give it that nice love energy in my SeaMoss as well. You know? And remember, crystals are part of the earth as well. So they happy when they sit with the SeaMoss. They are so happy, trust me. Okay, we're done here. So this is a pound of SeaMoss. Okay, and it's gonna get really big. Like trust me, it's gonna get really big. So you just take it and you put it in here. Okay. All right. Get the bottled water. Okay, gonna pour it in. Pour it all the way to the top so the SeaMoss can soak nicely and swell up. You can also, if you want your SeaMoss fast, you can also wash it the same way I wash it. Put it in a pot and let it boil, and you let it cook for maybe 5 minutes. And then you take that, you strain it out, and then you throw it in the blender. But I like to do it like this. I like to do my SeaMoss like this. Take your crystals, okay? You put that in there. And I have some key lime. You can use regular lime, but I found some key lime in the store. So I'm going to split these open and squeeze it inside, okay? You want to make sure you take out the seeds out your key lime, if you remember. But if not, when you rinse off, when you drain this off, you will see the seeds and you just pick them out, okay? So just squeeze them in there, get the juice in there. This also cuts the seed taste out of the SeaMoss, okay? Alkalines the water as well and get that seed taste out. A lot of people don't like that taste, okay? So I think I took about 3 of these. Squeeze them in. I hope y'all can see. My lighting is kind of dark here, but I'm sure you guys can see. Again, taking out the seeds. And when you squeeze, you want to squeeze as much juice as you can in there. And you can let this sit. You can let the lime sit for a little while, but do not leave them overnight to soak. Okay, you don't want that because then it'll be too sick. Too citric. Your SeaMoss. Okay. So you can leave it for a few minutes, let it soak up, let it clean up. Okay. All right. Last one here. And so you want to just immerse that. And yes, and you just let it sit for a little while. Don't forget those limes or your SeaMoss is going to come out tasting lime. If you want it like that, that's fine. But if not, Let it sit for a few minutes and then take them out and then leave your SeaMoss overnight, okay? So I will see you guys tomorrow. So we are back the next day. You see how the SeaMoss look? Nice and swollen. Okay, so we're going to drain this water off. This water you can also save and you can feed it to your plants because it really is a good nutritional value for your plants. So you know what? I'm going to get a jar and I'm going to save this water because I'm going to feed it to my plants to get all that good nutritional value that's been soaked off. Okay. Fill to the top, honey. All right, so let's drain off the rest. Okay. After that, you're not going to rinse this. You're going to put it right into the blender, okay? So you bring the blender down here. And don't forget, there's crystals in here. So let's look for them and take them out so they don't get blended up. We don't want that to happen to our precious crystals, right? So we're going to put them down there and we're going to lift this up and put it in. And you also want to look through it, make sure there's not like, you know, any debris that's still in there, anything you want to pull out, any little black things that you might see. It's still part of the sea. It's still SeaMoss, but you just don't want to make sure there's no rocks, anything that's attached to it. You know what I mean? All right. So now, we put it up here. So you want to start off with a little bit of water. You don't want to start off with a lot of water because you start off with a lot of water and if you mess it up, it's still good, but you just want to start off with a little bit of water. So let's pour a little bit of water in. Okay, I'm going to start off with like that. Okay? All right. You start off the blender slow. And then you work it. I hope this doesn't mess up the camera. So we are done blending it. Hope y'all see this. Okay, and now we're gonna look how thick it is. That baby's so thick it don't really come out, right? So that is the gel. You can make it looser than this if you want. You can make it a tad looser than this if you want, but it's all the same. You want it to be in this consistency. You want it to be this thick, so you can just grab it right out the jar. Okay. Let's go, SeaMoss. Drop down. Yeah, smooth. Some people make it thinner than this because they want to stretch it. But I like it this texture, especially when I'm selling it. This is really good to sell. That's how you know. Look how thick this is. Let me bring it up closer. Look how smooth the texture. Nice, right? All right. So this SeaMoss need a little help coming down. So I grab a spoon. And just bring it down. Okay. Let me move the camera down so y'all can see. Slowly coming out. Can y'all see this jar? Okay, yeah. There we go. Let's go. We don't got all day with the camera work. So this is SeaMoss gel, guys. This is it right here. Yes, and this was made out of a pound of SeaMoss. You still got some left over. This is a 16-ounce jar. Okay? Yes. Bon appetit.